Do you remember the sandwiches your grandparents used to love? The ones that don't show up on lunch menus anymore? These simple, hearty creations filled lunchboxes and family tables with flavor and nostalgia. From savory classics to unexpected sweet and salty combinations, each bite tells a story of mid-century kitchens and practical, comforting meals. Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane with 60 sandwiches your grandparents ate that we don't make anymore. Chicken salad with grapes on white bread. There was a time when a simple chicken salad sandwich could feel like a special treat, and nothing captured that mid-century charm quite like chicken salad with grapes on white bread. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served at a sunny afternoon tea, a casual family lunch, or even packed neatly in a lunchbox for school or work. The recipe was deceptively simple. Tender, shredded chicken folded into a creamy mayonnaise base, sweet bursts of halved grapes adding a subtle, juicy contrast and often a touch of chopped celery for crunch. The soft, pillowy white bread held it all together, making each bite creamy, slightly sweet, and perfectly balanced. Unlike today's elaborate sandwiches stacked with artisanal ingredients, this one was humble, practical, and unpretentious. Yet its flavors were comforting and familiar, evoking memories of kitchens filled with the aroma of roasting chicken, gentle chatter around the table, and the quiet satisfaction of a meal made with care. In its simplicity, it remains a timeless reminder of home-cooked nostalgia. Cream cheese and olive spread sandwich. The cream cheese and olive spread sandwich was a staple in mid-20th century kitchens, a simple yet flavorful combination that delighted many a lunch crowd. Soft, smooth cream cheese provided a rich, creamy base, while chopped olives, often black or green, added a salty, briny bite that elevated the ordinary slice of bread into something memorable. Served on plain white or sometimes whole wheat bread, it was the kind of sandwich that required no fancy ingredients yet delivered a satisfying taste and texture. This was the type of lunch your grandparents might have packed for work, served at a casual gathering, or sliced into neat triangles for an afternoon tea. Its charm lay in its simplicity. A few ingredients, carefully mixed and spread, creating a savory treat that was quick to assemble and easy to enjoy. Today, it has largely disappeared from modern lunch tables, but for those who remember it, the creamy, salty, and slightly tangy flavors still evoke the cozy, practical comfort of a bygone era. Bologna and Miracle Whip sandwich. The Bologna and Miracle Whip sandwich was an iconic, no-fuss lunch that filled lunchboxes across America in the mid-20th century. It was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have made in a hurry, yet it carried a comforting familiarity that made it a favorite. Thick slices of bologna, often lightly fried to bring out their savory flavor, were paired with a generous slather of tangy, sweet Miracle Whip, creating a combination that was simple but satisfying. Soft white bread served as the perfect canvas, holding everything together without overpowering the flavors. Sometimes a slice of American cheese or a thin smear of mustard would make a cameo. But the heart of the sandwich was always the bologna and Miracle Whip duo. It was easy, affordable, and hearty enough to keep both kids and adults content. Today, this straightforward lunch has largely vanished from kitchens, but for those who grew up with it, the creamy tang and salty meat still bring a wave of nostalgia for the uncomplicated pleasures of home-packed meals. Liverwurst with onion and mustard. Liverwurst with onion and mustard was a classic sandwich that once graced many mid-century lunch tables, offering a bold and savory alternative to more familiar deli meats. Smooth, spreadable liverwurst formed the rich, hearty base, its deep, meaty flavor balanced perfectly by the sharp bite of thinly sliced raw onions. A smear of tangy mustard added just the right amount of zest, cutting through the richness and tying the flavors together. Served on soft rye or hearty white bread, this sandwich was both simple to assemble and satisfying to eat. It was the kind of lunch your grandparents might have enjoyed at home, packed for work, or served to guests who appreciated something a little different. Today, liverwurst sandwiches have largely disappeared from everyday menus, replaced by milder deli options. Yet for those who remember them, the combination of creamy liverwurst, pungent onion, and mustard's kick evokes a sense of nostalgia for the bold, practical flavors of a bygone era. Peanut butter, lettuce, and mayonnaise. The peanut butter, lettuce, and mayonnaise sandwich was a quirky yet surprisingly popular creation in mid-20th century kitchens, a testament to the inventive spirit of home cooks. It began with a generous layer of creamy peanut butter, its rich, nutty flavor forming the foundation. Crisp, fresh lettuce added a refreshing crunch, while a thin spread of mayonnaise introduced a subtle tang and creaminess that balanced the sandwich perfectly. Served on soft white or wheat bread, it was simple, quick to make, and oddly satisfying, combining textures and flavors that seemed unconventional today, but felt perfectly natural back then. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have packed for school, offered at an impromptu lunch, or enjoyed as a light afternoon snack. While it has largely vanished from modern lunchboxes, the combination of nutty, crisp, and creamy elements evokes a sense of nostalgia, recalling a time when sandwiches were practical, imaginative, and made with whatever ingredients were on hand. Ham and pineapple on rye. The ham and pineapple on rye sandwich was a mid-century delight, a combination of sweet and savory flavors that felt exotic yet approachable. Thick slices of ham provided a salty, hearty base, while juicy chunks or rings of pineapple added a bright tropical sweetness that contrasted beautifully with the meat. A light spread of butter or mayonnaise often helped marry the flavors, while rye bread offered a slightly tangy, robust foundation to hold it all together. This sandwich was the kind of creation your grandparents might have served for a casual lunch, a picnic, or a simple family meal, reflecting a time when home cooks experimented with contrasting tastes in inventive yet accessible ways. Today, the sweet and savory pairing has largely fallen out of favor in everyday sandwiches, replaced by more conventional deli staples. Yet for those who remember it, the combination of smoky ham, sweet pineapple, and hearty rye evokes a comforting sense of nostalgia, recalling kitchens filled with creativity, practicality, and the desire to turn a simple sandwich into something memorable. Egg salad with pickle relish. Egg salad with pickle relish was a beloved mid-century sandwich, a simple yet flavorful creation that made lunchboxes and tea tables alike feel special. The base of creamy, chopped hard-boiled eggs blended with mayonnaise created a rich and smooth texture, while a generous spoonful of sweet and tangy pickle relish added a bright pop of flavor that lifted the sandwich from ordinary to memorable. Soft white or whole wheat bread cradled the filling, keeping it neat while letting each bite deliver a perfect balance of creaminess and zing. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served at home, packed for school or work, or enjoyed during an impromptu afternoon snack. Its appeal lay in its simplicity and versatility, easy to make, affordable, and satisfying, yet full of character. Though it has largely faded from modern lunch menus, the combination of egg, creamy mayonnaise, and pickle relish still evokes a sense of nostalgia for home-cooked comfort and the practical creativity of bygone kitchens. Sloppy Joe, original 1930s diner version. The original 1930s diner version of the Sloppy Joe was a messy, flavorful staple that captured the spirit of simple, hearty American comfort food. Ground beef was slowly cooked with onions, a tangy tomato-based sauce, and a hint of Worcestershire or spices, creating a savory, slightly sweet filling that was both rich and satisfying. Served piled generously onto soft hamburger buns, the sandwich earned its sloppy reputation, with sauce often spilling over the sides, a feature embraced rather than avoided. This was the kind of meal your grandparents might have enjoyed at a bustling diner, a casual lunch counter, or even at home on a busy weeknight, offering an affordable and filling option for families during the Depression era. Unlike the streamlined or commercialized versions we see today, the 1930s Sloppy Joe was homemade, hearty, and unapologetically indulgent. Its blend of savory, tangy, and comforting flavors evokes nostalgia for a time when meals were simple, satisfying, and always made to bring people together around the table. Tuna and tomato sandwich. The tuna and tomato sandwich was a classic mid-century favorite, a simple yet satisfying lunch that combined the richness of canned tuna with the fresh, juicy flavor of ripe tomato slices. Tuna, often mixed with mayonnaise and a touch of seasoning, created a creamy, savory filling, while the tomato added a bright, slightly acidic contrast that kept each bite refreshing. Served on soft white or whole wheat bread, sometimes lightly buttered, it was quick to prepare yet felt nourishing and complete. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have packed for school or work, offered at a casual family lunch, or served alongside a bowl of soup for a cozy meal. Its charm lay in its straightforward ingredients, affordability, and the balance of textures and flavors, a creamy, hearty filling paired with crisp, juicy tomato. While it has largely faded from modern lunch menus, the tuna and tomato sandwich remains a nostalgic reminder of practical, home-cooked meals made with care and simplicity in mind. Deviled ham on wheat. Deviled ham on wheat was a spicy, savory sandwich that held a special place in mid-century kitchens. The filling, made from finely ground ham blended with mustard, mayonnaise, and a hint of cayenne or paprika, delivered a punchy, flavorful kick that contrasted with the mildness of soft wheat bread. It was a practical, ready-to-go lunch, often spread generously between slices for school, work, or a quick family meal. The sandwich offered a perfect balance of creamy texture, salty meatiness, and subtle heat, making it both satisfying and memorable. This was the kind of simple, no-fuss lunch your grandparents might have relied on, appreciating its convenience without sacrificing taste. Though largely forgotten today, deviled ham on wheat evokes nostalgia for a time when sandwiches were bold yet uncomplicated, crafted from pantry staples, and enjoyed with a sense of practicality and comfort. It remains a reminder of the inventive, resourceful spirit of home cooking in a bygone era. Hot dog and a grilled cheese, double carb delight. The hot dog and a grilled cheese was a fun, indulgent sandwich that delighted kids and adults alike in mid-century kitchens. Essentially a marriage of two classic comfort foods, it featured a hot dog tucked inside slices of bread layered with plenty of melting American cheese, then grilled until golden and crispy. The bread provided a crunchy, buttery exterior, while the gooey cheese and savory hot dog inside created a warm, hearty center that was both satisfying and playful. This double-carb delight was often a quick weeknight dinner, a special treat for lunchboxes, or a late-night snack, showcasing the inventive spirit of home cooks who embraced indulgence without complication. Though it has largely disappeared from modern menus, The combination of crispy bread, melted cheese, and a juicy hot dog evokes nostalgia for carefree childhood meals, diner lunches, and the joyful simplicity of comfort food that didn't need to be fancy to be memorable. Spam and cheese toasted sandwich. The Spam and cheese toasted sandwich was a mid-century favorite, especially in post-war kitchens where convenience and affordability were prized. Slices of Spam, lightly fried or simply layered, were paired with a generous helping of melting American or cheddar cheese, all nestled between slices of soft white bread. The sandwich was then toasted or grilled until the bread turned golden brown and crisp, and the cheese became gooey and irresistible. Its appeal lay in its simplicity, portability, and hearty, savory flavor, a satisfying combination of salty meat and creamy cheese that could be prepared in minutes. Your grandparents might have served it for a quick lunch, a casual dinner, or even as a late-night snack after a busy day. While it has largely faded from modern menus, the Spam and cheese toasted sandwich remains a nostalgic reminder of a time when practicality met flavor, offering comfort, convenience, and a touch of indulgence in every warm, crispy bite. Corned beef and sauerkraut on rye. Corned beef and sauerkraut on rye was a classic deli-style sandwich that became a staple in mid-20th century kitchens and lunch counters. Thick slices of salty, tender corned beef were piled high on hearty rye bread, while tangy, fermented sauerkraut added a bright, slightly sour contrast that cut through the richness of the meat. A swipe of mustard often completed the sandwich, lending a subtle kick and tying the flavors together. It was the kind of meal your grandparents might have enjoyed for lunch at a diner, packed for a hearty workday meal, or served at home as a comforting family dinner. Its appeal lay in the bold combination of flavors and the satisfying heft of each bite, substantial, flavorful, and memorable. Though not as common on modern lunch menus, the corned beef and sauerkraut sandwich remains a nostalgic symbol of a bygone era, evoking the savory, hearty meals that sustained families and delighted palates in simple yet unforgettable ways. Chicken and watercress sandwich. The chicken and watercress sandwich was a refined yet simple favorite in mid-century kitchens, celebrated for its light, fresh flavor and elegant presentation. Tender, cooked chicken, often shredded or thinly sliced, was layered onto soft white or whole wheat bread, then topped with crisp, peppery watercress for a refreshing bite. A light spread of mayonnaise or butter helped bind the ingredients while adding subtle creaminess, ensuring each bite was moist and flavorful without overwhelming the delicate flavors. This sandwich was often served at afternoon teas, casual luncheons, or as a simple family meal, reflecting a time when home cooks valued both practicality and a touch of sophistication. Its charm lay in the balance of textures: the soft bread, the succulent chicken, and the crisp, slightly spicy greens. While largely forgotten today, the chicken and watercress sandwich evokes nostalgia for a bygone era of thoughtful, uncomplicated home cooking, where simple ingredients combine to create something both satisfying and memorable. Pimento cheese sandwich. The pimento cheese sandwich was a Southern classic that once held a cherished place in mid-20th century kitchens. Creamy, tangy, and slightly spicy, the filling was made by blending sharp cheddar cheese with mayonnaise and diced pimentos, creating a spread that was rich, flavorful, and utterly addictive. Served on soft white or sandwich bread, it was simple to assemble yet full of character, offering a satisfying combination of creaminess, subtle heat, and cheesy depth in every bite. Your grandparents might have served it for lunch, packed it for school, or offered it at picnics and casual gatherings, where it quickly became a favorite for both children and adults. Though pimento cheese sandwiches have waned in popularity outside of the South, they remain a nostalgic reminder of a time when pantry staples were transformed into comforting, practical, and delicious meals. Every bite evokes the warmth of home kitchens, the joy of simple ingredients combined with care, and the enduring appeal of a sandwich that is both humble and flavorful. Sliced roast beef with horseradish sauce. Sliced roast beef with horseradish sauce was a hearty, flavorful sandwich that held a special place on mid-century lunch tables. Thinly sliced roast beef, tender and savory, was piled generously onto soft white or rye bread, while a dollop of tangy, pungent horseradish sauce added a bright, zesty kick that cut through the richness of the meat. Sometimes a slice of cheese or a leaf of crisp lettuce was added, but the focus was always on the satisfying balance between beef and sauce. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have packed for work, served at a casual family lunch, or enjoyed at a diner with a side of potato chips. Its appeal lay in its simplicity, heartiness, and bold flavor, a practical yet indulgent choice that left a lasting impression. Though less common on modern menus, sliced roast beef with horseradish sauce evokes nostalgia for the savory, substantial sandwiches of a bygone era where quality ingredients and straightforward preparation reigned supreme. Ham salad sandwich, shredded ham with mayo. The ham salad sandwich, made from shredded ham mixed with creamy mayonnaise, was a mid-century favorite that combined convenience with comforting flavor. The finely chopped meat blended smoothly with mayo, sometimes accented with a hint of mustard, pickle relish, or chopped celery, creating a creamy, savory filling that was easy to spread and satisfying to eat. Served on soft white or whole wheat bread, it made for a practical lunch, a quick family meal, or a simple tea time snack. This sandwich was the kind of staple your grandparents might have relied on during busy weekdays, offering a hearty, flavorful bite without fuss. Its appeal lay in its versatility and straightforward preparation, affordable, filling, and deliciously nostalgic. Though largely absent from modern lunch menus, the ham salad sandwich evokes memories of home kitchens where simple ingredients were transformed into satisfying, reliable meals, reminding us of an era when practicality, taste, and comfort came together perfectly between two slices of bread. Bologna and cream cheese roll-ups. Bologna and cream cheese roll-ups were a quintessential mid-century snack and lunchbox favorite, combining simplicity with satisfying flavor. Thin slices of bologna were spread with a layer of creamy, tangy cream cheese, then rolled tightly into neat little cylinders that were easy to handle and fun to eat. Sometimes a hint of pickle or pimento was added for a subtle burst of flavor, but the core appeal was the smooth, savory contrast between the salty bologna and the rich cream cheese. Served cold or slightly chilled, these roll-ups were often offered at casual gatherings, packed for school lunches, or served as a quick appetizer for family snacks. They exemplified the era's love of practical, no-fuss recipes that could be prepared in minutes, yet delivered big on taste. Though largely forgotten today, bologna and cream cheese roll-ups evoke nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where creativity met convenience, turning simple ingredients into memorable, comforting bites. Leftover turkey with cranberry sauce on white bread. Leftover turkey with cranberry sauce on white bread was a beloved post-holiday tradition in mid-century kitchens, transforming the remnants of a festive meal into a simple, satisfying sandwich. Tender slices of roasted turkey, often cold from the refrigerator, were layered generously on soft white bread, while a spoonful of sweet tart cranberry sauce added a bright, fruity contrast that made each bite flavorful and memorable. Sometimes a thin spread of mayonnaise was added to enhance the creaminess, but the focus was always on the harmony between the savory meat and the sweet, tangy sauce. This humble creation was the kind of practical, comforting meal your grandparents might have packed for lunch, served as a quick snack, or enjoyed as a casual family dinner after the holiday rush. Though largely absent from modern sandwich choices, leftover turkey with cranberry sauce evokes nostalgia for kitchens filled with the warmth of home cooking, resourcefulness, and the joy of turning yesterday's feast into today's simple delight. Sweet pickle and cheese sandwich. The sweet pickle and cheese sandwich was a charming mid-century creation, beloved for its unique balance of flavors. Mild, creamy cheese, often American or cheddar, was paired with thin slices of sweet pickles, providing a crisp, tangy contrast that brightened each bite. Soft white or wheat bread held the ingredients together, allowing the interplay of creamy, salty cheese and sugary, crunchy pickles to shine. This sandwich was the kind your grandparents might have served for lunch, packed in a lunchbox, or offered at casual afternoon gatherings. Its appeal lay in its simplicity, affordability, and the surprising sophistication of contrasting textures and tastes. Though it has largely disappeared from modern lunch tables, the sweet pickle and cheese sandwich remains a nostalgic reminder of mid-century kitchens, where simple ingredients were combined thoughtfully to create practical, satisfying, and unexpectedly delightful meals. Meatloaf sandwich with ketchup. The meatloaf sandwich with ketchup was a hearty mid-century classic, transforming a beloved dinner leftover into a satisfying handheld meal. Thick slices of home-cooked meatloaf, rich and flavorful from a blend of ground beef, onions, breadcrumbs, and seasonings, were placed between slices of soft white or whole wheat bread. A generous squirt of ketchup added a tangy sweetness that complemented the savory meat, while sometimes a slice of cheese or a smear of mustard made a cameo. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have packed for lunch, served for a quick dinner, or enjoyed as a comforting snack during busy weekdays. Its appeal lay in its simplicity, practicality, and robust flavor, a filling meal that required little effort yet delivered big on satisfaction. Though it has faded from modern lunch menus, the meatloaf sandwich with ketchup evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where leftovers were transformed into comforting, no-fuss sandwiches that were both affordable and deeply satisfying. Grilled liverwurst and apple butter. Grilled liverwurst and apple butter was a distinctive mid-century sandwich that combined savory richness with a touch of sweet elegance. Thick slices of liverwurst, spread generously on soft bread, were lightly grilled to warm and enhance their earthy, meaty flavor. A layer of apple butter added a subtle sweetness and fruity depth, creating an unexpected but delightful contrast that balanced the boldness of the liverwurst. Often served on white or rye bread, this sandwich was the kind your grandparents might have enjoyed for a quick lunch, an afternoon snack, or even a casual dinner at home. Its charm lay in the creative pairing of flavors, transforming a humble sausage spread into something both comforting and sophisticated. Though largely forgotten today, grilled liverwurst and apple butter evokes nostalgia for a time when home cooks experimented with simple ingredients, turning pantry staples into memorable, flavorful meals that reflected both practicality and a touch of culinary whimsy. Fried bologna with mustard on white bread. Fried bologna with mustard on white bread was a quintessential mid-century sandwich, beloved for its simplicity, affordability, and bold flavor. Thick slices of bologna were fried until slightly crispy and golden at the edges, releasing a savory, smoky aroma that filled the kitchen. A generous smear of tangy yellow mustard added a sharp contrast, cutting through the richness of the meat. Soft white bread held it all together, providing a tender, neutral backdrop that let the bologna and mustard shine. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served for a quick lunch, packed in a lunchbox, or enjoyed as an easy weeknight dinner. Its appeal lay in its straightforward ingredients, satisfying taste, and practicality. A no-fuss meal that was hearty and filling. Though largely absent from modern menus, fried bologna with mustard evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where resourcefulness met flavor, turning simple pantry staples into a comforting, unforgettable sandwich. Cold chicken and potato salad sandwich. The cold chicken and potato salad sandwich was a mid-century favorite, turning simple leftovers into a hearty, satisfying meal. Tender chunks of cooked chicken were mixed with creamy potato salad, often flavored with mayonnaise, a touch of mustard, and a sprinkle of seasoning, creating a filling that was both rich and refreshing. Served cold between slices of soft white or whole wheat bread, the sandwich offered a pleasant contrast of textures, creamy, chunky, filling against tender bread. This was the kind of practical, make-ahead lunch your grandparents might have packed for work, school, or picnics, relying on leftovers to create something delicious without extra effort. Its charm lay in the clever combination of ingredients, transforming ordinary staples into a flavorful, balanced meal. Though rarely seen on modern lunch tables, the cold chicken and potato salad sandwich evokes nostalgia for a time when home cooks maximized every ingredient, crafting practical, comforting sandwiches that satisfied both hunger and taste in a simple, elegant way. Ham and jellied salad sandwich. The ham and jellied salad sandwich was a quirky, colorful mid-century creation that showcased the era's love of gelatin-based salads and inventive sandwich fillings. Thin slices of cooked ham were paired with a scoop of jellied salad, a mixture of flavored gelatin, chopped vegetables, and sometimes fruit, creating a unique combination of savory, sweet, and slightly tangy flavors. Soft white or wheat bread held the filling together, while the gelatin added a playful, wobbly texture that contrasted with the hearty ham. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served for casual lunches, potlucks, or afternoon gatherings, delighting children and adults alike with its unusual yet satisfying taste. Though it has largely vanished from modern menus, the ham and jellied salad sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where creativity, practicality, and a sense of fun came together in every bite, turning ordinary ingredients into an unexpectedly memorable meal. Fried egg and bacon club sandwich. The fried egg and bacon club sandwich was a hearty, indulgent favorite in mid-century kitchens, combining breakfast and lunch in one satisfying meal. Crispy strips of bacon were layered with a freshly fried egg, often accompanied by lettuce, tomato, and a light spread of mayonnaise, all nestled between slices of toasted white or wheat bread. Sometimes a third slice of bread created the classic club structure, adding stability and extra heft. This sandwich was the kind your grandparents might have enjoyed for a leisurely weekend brunch, a filling lunch, or a casual dinner when a simple yet substantial meal was needed. Its appeal lay in the balance of textures and flavors, the crunch of bacon, the creamy yolk of the fried egg, and the freshness of the vegetables, combined into a practical, handheld delight. Though less common today, the fried egg and bacon club sandwich evokes nostalgia for an era when sandwiches were generous, comforting, and made to satisfy both hunger and taste with every layered bite. Egg and cress on toast. Egg and cress on toast was a simple yet elegant mid-century sandwich, beloved for its fresh flavors and easy preparation. Soft, chopped hard-boiled eggs were mixed with a touch of mayonnaise or butter, then spread generously over lightly toasted bread. Crisp, peppery cress added a bright, refreshing bite, balancing the richness of the eggs and lending a subtle crunch. Often served as an afternoon snack, a light lunch, or a tea-time treat, this sandwich reflected a time when home cooks valued simplicity, freshness, and practicality. Its charm lay in the combination of textures and flavors. A creamy, savory filling contrasted with the slightly tangy, crisp greens atop warm toasted bread. Though largely absent from modern sandwich menus, egg and cress on toast evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where uncomplicated ingredients were transformed into satisfying, thoughtful meals that were both comforting and refined. Tuna melt on rye with American cheese. The tuna melt on rye with American cheese was a classic mid-century comfort sandwich, cherished for its warm, hearty, and satisfying flavors. Flaked canned tuna mixed with creamy mayonnaise and a touch of seasoning formed the rich, savory base, piled generously onto slices of robust rye bread. A layer of gooey American cheese was added on top. Then the sandwich was grilled or broiled until the bread was golden and crisp and the cheese melted perfectly over the tuna. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed for a cozy lunch at home, a quick dinner, or a diner-style treat on a casual afternoon. Its appeal lay in the combination of textures, the crisp rye, creamy tuna, and melted cheese, creating a harmonious balance of flavors. Though less commonly made today, the tuna melt on rye with American cheese evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where simple ingredients were transformed into warm, hearty, and deeply satisfying sandwiches. Corned beef hash sandwich. The corned beef hash sandwich was a hearty, satisfying favorite in mid-century kitchens, perfect for breakfast, lunch, or a quick dinner. Leftover corned beef, chopped potatoes, and onions were mixed together to create a savory hash, then piled generously between slices of soft white or rye bread. Sometimes the sandwich was lightly fried or toasted, adding a crisp, golden exterior that contrasted with the tender, flavorful filling inside. This was the kind of practical, filling meal your grandparents might have enjoyed after a busy morning, served at a diner, or packed for a simple lunch at home. Its appeal lay in its robust, savory flavors and the clever use of leftovers, turning humble ingredients into a satisfying handheld meal. Though largely forgotten on modern menus, the corned beef hash sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where resourcefulness met flavor, creating comforting, no-fuss sandwiches that were hearty, practical, and deeply satisfying. Creamed chipped beef on toast. SOS sandwich. Cream chipped beef on toast, affectionately known as SOS, was a staple in mid-century kitchens and military mess halls, cherished for its simplicity and hearty flavor. Thin slices of dried beef, often salty and slightly smoky, were simmered in a creamy white sauce made with butter, flour, and milk, then spooned generously over toasted bread. The result was a rich, savory, sandwich-like dish that was both filling and comforting, perfect for breakfast, lunch, or a quick dinner. This was the kind of meal your grandparents might have relied on during lean times or when a practical, satisfying dish was needed in a hurry. Its charm lay in the creamy texture, savory beef, and straightforward preparation, making it a practical and nourishing choice. Though largely absent from modern tables, creamed chipped beef on toast evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, military staples, and the comforting, no-fuss meals that defined an era of practicality, resourcefulness, and simple culinary satisfaction. Roast chicken with mayonnaise and lettuce. The roast chicken with mayonnaise and lettuce sandwich was a mid-century favorite, combining simple, fresh ingredients into a satisfying and elegant meal. Tender slices of leftover roast chicken were layered generously onto soft white or wheat bread, then topped with crisp, fresh lettuce and a light spread of creamy mayonnaise. Sometimes a touch of salt, pepper, or a thin slice of tomato was added, but the heart of the sandwich was always the flavorful, juicy chicken paired with the crisp greens and creamy dressing. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served for a casual lunch, packed for a picnic, or enjoyed as a quick dinner, offering a balance of protein, freshness, and comfort. Its appeal lay in its simplicity and freshness, transforming ordinary leftovers into a meal that was both practical and satisfying. Though less common today, roast chicken with mayonnaise and lettuce evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where thoughtful, uncomplicated sandwiches were a reliable and comforting staple. Bologna, lettuce, and tomato on white bread. Bologna, lettuce, and tomato on white bread was a classic mid-century sandwich, cherished for its simplicity, practicality, and satisfying flavors. Thick slices of bologna, sometimes lightly fried to enhance their savory taste, were layered in crisp, fresh lettuce and juicy slices of ripe tomato, all held together by soft white bread. A thin smear of mayonnaise or mustard often completed the sandwich, adding a touch of creaminess or tang. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have packed for school or work, served at a casual family lunch, or enjoyed as a quick weeknight meal. Its charm lay in the balance of textures and flavors: the salty, savory bologna, the refreshing crunch of lettuce, and the bright juiciness of tomato, combined in a practical, easy-to-make sandwich. Though largely absent from modern menus, bologna, lettuce, and tomato on white bread evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where straightforward, affordable ingredients were transformed into comforting, satisfying meals. Turkey and dill pickle sandwich. The turkey and dill pickle sandwich was a mid-century favorite, offering a crisp, tangy twist on a classic leftover lunch. Slices of tender cooked turkey were layered on soft white or whole wheat bread, and thinly sliced dill pickles added a bright, slightly sour crunch that contrasted perfectly with the savory meat. A light spread of mayonnaise or butter often rounded out the flavors, keeping the sandwich moist without overpowering the turkey or pickles. This was the kind of practical, satisfying sandwich your grandparents might have packed for work, served for a casual family lunch, or enjoyed as a simple dinner, especially after holiday meals. Its appeal lay in the clever combination of textures and tastes: the juicy, savory turkey paired with crisp, tangy pickles, creating a meal that was both refreshing and filling. Though less common today, the turkey and dill pickle sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where creativity, practicality, and flavor came together in every carefully layered bite. Chicken liver pâté on toast. Chicken liver pâté on toast was a sophisticated yet simple mid-century favorite, celebrated for its rich, creamy flavor and elegant presentation. Smooth, finely blended chicken livers were mixed with butter, seasonings, and sometimes a hint of brandy or cream, creating a velvety spread that melted on the tongue. Served atop lightly toasted bread, the pâté offered a contrast of textures: crisp, golden toast supporting the luscious, savory spread. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served at afternoon tea, a casual luncheon, or as a special snack for guests, reflecting a time when simple ingredients were elevated with care and technique. Its appeal lay in its depth of flavor, practicality, and the small indulgence it offered without being fussy. Though less common on modern lunch menus, chicken liver pâté on toast evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where thoughtful preparation and classic flavors transformed humble ingredients into a satisfying, memorable bite. Sardine and onion sandwich. The sardine and onion sandwich was a bold and savory mid-century favorite, prized for its simplicity and strong, distinctive flavors. Canned sardines, rich and oily, were often mashed slightly and layered onto soft white or rye bread, while thinly sliced raw onions added a sharp, pungent crunch that contrasted beautifully with the fish. A light spread of butter or mayonnaise sometimes helped bind the ingredients and mellow the intensity, but the focus was always on the satisfying combination of sardines and onion. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed for a quick lunch, a hearty snack, or a simple meal at home when practicality was key. Its charm lay in its robust taste, ease of preparation, and resourcefulness, turning pantry staples into a filling, flavorful sandwich. Though largely absent from modern menus, the sardine and onion sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where strong flavors, simplicity, and practicality came together in memorable, no-fuss meals. Ham and peanut butter. Yes, really. Ham and peanut butter was a daring yet surprisingly popular mid-century sandwich, combining savory and sweet in a way that raised eyebrows but delighted taste buds. Slices of salty, tender ham were paired with a generous spread of creamy peanut butter, creating a rich, slightly sticky filling that balanced the meat's savory depth with the nutty sweetness of the peanut butter. Served on soft white or wheat bread, sometimes lightly toasted, it was a quick, filling meal that your grandparents might have packed for lunch, enjoyed at home, or even served as a snack for adventurous eaters. Its charm lay in the unexpected flavor combination. Simple, practical ingredients transformed into something memorable and indulgent. Though largely vanished from modern lunch menus, ham and peanut butter evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where culinary creativity met resourcefulness, turning everyday staples into bold, satisfying sandwiches that left a lasting impression with every bite. Bologna and hot dog hybrid, mid-century innovation. The bologna and hot dog hybrid was a playful, indulgent mid-century sandwich that combined two affordable favorites into one hearty meal. A slice of bologna, sometimes fried until slightly crispy, served as the base, while a cooked hot dog was nestled on top, creating a double meat delight. Often served on soft white bread or a bun, the sandwich might be finished with mustard, ketchup, or a slice of cheese, adding tang, sweetness, or creaminess to the already flavorful combination. This inventive creation was the kind of practical, satisfying meal your grandparents might have enjoyed for a quick lunch, a casual weeknight dinner, or a fun treat for kids. Its appeal lay in the sheer indulgence, simplicity, and inventive spirit, turning humble, everyday ingredients into a filling and memorable sandwich. Though largely forgotten today, the bologna and hot dog hybrid evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where creativity, thrift, and flavor came together in surprisingly delicious ways. Leftover pot roast on bread with gravy. Leftover pot roast on bread with gravy was a hearty mid-century favorite, turning the previous night's dinner into a satisfying handheld meal. Tender slices of pot roast infused with rich flavors from slow cooking were piled onto soft white or wheat bread, then drenched in savory pan gravy that kept every bite moist and flavorful. Sometimes a slice of cheese or a few crisp vegetables were added, but the magic was always in the combination of tender meat and luscious gravy soaking into the bread. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed for lunch, a casual dinner, or even a quick supper during busy days. Its appeal lay in its practicality and comfort, transforming leftovers into a meal that was both filling and indulgent. Though largely absent from modern menus, leftover pot roast on bread with gravy evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where resourcefulness and flavor came together to create comforting, no-fuss sandwiches that satisfied both hunger and taste. Roast beef and watercress with mustard. Roast beef and watercress with mustard was a refined yet simple mid-century sandwich, prized for its fresh, balanced flavors. Thin slices of tender roast beef were layered on soft white or rye bread, accompanied by crisp, peppery watercress that added a refreshing bite. A thin smear of mustard provided a tangy, slightly spicy contrast, enhancing the richness of the beef without overpowering it. This sandwich was the kind your grandparents might have enjoyed for lunch, a light dinner, or even at a casual tea, offering a satisfying combination of protein, freshness, and flavor. Its appeal lay in the thoughtful simplicity, quality ingredients prepared with care, producing a sandwich that was both practical and elegant. Though less common on modern lunch menus, roast beef and watercress with mustard evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where straightforward, flavorful ingredients were transformed into memorable meals that were comforting, refined, and perfectly balanced. Veal cutlet sandwich with brown gravy. The veal cutlet sandwich with brown gravy was a hearty mid-century favorite, combining tender, breaded veal with rich, savory sauce for a truly indulgent meal. Crisply fried cutlets were placed between slices of soft white or rye bread, then smothered with warm brown gravy, allowing the flavors to soak into the bread for every bite. Sometimes a slice of cheese or a few fresh vegetables were added, but the star was always the juicy veal and luscious gravy. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed for lunch, a quick dinner, or a filling diner treat, offering comfort and sustenance in a practical, handheld form. Its appeal lay in its combination of textures and flavors: crispy, tender meat, rich sauce, and soft bread, creating a satisfying, memorable meal. Though largely absent from modern menus, the veal cutlet sandwich with brown gravy evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens and diners where hearty, flavorful sandwiches were celebrated as both convenient and indulgent. Sweet bologna sandwich fried with brown sugar. The sweet bologna sandwich, fried with brown sugar, was a beloved mid-century treat that transformed a humble lunch meat into a caramelized delight. Thick slices of bologna were pan-fried until edges were crispy and slightly golden, then sprinkled with brown sugar, which melted into a sweet, savory glaze. The combination of salty bologna and sugary coating created a rich, indulgent flavor that paired perfectly with soft white bread. Sometimes a touch of mustard or mayonnaise was added, but the magic was always in the caramelized bologna itself. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served for a quick lunch, an after-school snack, or a simple weeknight dinner. Its appeal lay in the inventive contrast of flavors, practicality, and satisfying heartiness. Though rarely seen on modern menus, the sweet bologna sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where creativity, thrift, and flavor came together to turn simple ingredients into a comforting, memorable meal. Liver pate with sliced hard-boiled egg. Liver pate with sliced hard-boiled egg was a classic mid-century sandwich that combined rich, creamy flavors with simple, wholesome ingredients. Smooth, savory liver pate was spread generously on soft white or rye bread, then topped with slices of firm, tender, hard-boiled egg. The result was a layered bite, with the pate's earthy richness perfectly complemented by the mild, delicate egg. Often finished with a light sprinkle of salt, pepper, or a touch of butter, this sandwich was both satisfying and elegant in its simplicity. It was the kind your grandparents might have served for lunch, an afternoon tea, or a casual family gathering, practical yet flavorful. Though it has largely faded from modern menus, liver pate with sliced hard-boiled egg evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where thoughtful, straightforward ingredients were transformed into comforting, memorable sandwiches that balanced richness, texture, and flavor in every bite. Pickled herring on rye. Pickled herring on rye was a distinctive mid-century sandwich, celebrated for its bold, tangy flavors and simple preparation. Tender, marinated herring fillets, often soaked in a vinegar-based brine with onions or spices, were layered atop hearty slices of rye bread. The bread's robust, slightly tangy flavor provided a perfect foundation, balancing the rich, briny herring. Sometimes a thin spread of butter or a few crisp greens was added, but the focus was always on the pungent, flavorful fish. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served for lunch, a light dinner, or a casual gathering, especially in households with European culinary influences. Its appeal lay in its simplicity, practicality, and bold taste. A sandwich that was hearty, flavorful, and memorable without requiring elaborate ingredients. Though largely absent from modern menus, pickled herring on rye evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where resourcefulness, tradition, and bold flavors came together in every satisfying bite. Cold meat and jelly sandwich, like ham and Concord grape. The cold meat and jelly sandwich, such as ham with Concord grape jelly, was a quirky yet beloved mid-century creation that combined savory and sweet in an unexpected harmony. Thin slices of cooked ham were paired with a generous layer of sweet, fruity jelly, typically served on soft white or wheat bread. The contrast between the salty, meaty ham and the smooth, sugary jelly created a surprisingly satisfying flavor combination that delighted adventurous eaters. Sometimes a touch of butter or mayonnaise was added to enhance the texture and richness. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have packed for school, served for lunch at home, or offered as a fun, unconventional treat at casual gatherings. Though it has largely disappeared from modern menus, the cold meat and jelly sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where creativity, practicality, and a willingness to experiment with flavors turned everyday ingredients into memorable, satisfying meals. Chicken with potato salad in a roll. Chicken with potato salad in a roll was a practical and hearty mid-century sandwich, perfect for lunches, picnics, or casual family meals. Tender, cooked chicken, often shredded or sliced, was combined with creamy potato salad, seasoned with mayonnaise, mustard, and sometimes a touch of pickle or onion for extra flavor. This mixture was then tucked into a soft roll, creating a portable, satisfying meal with a balance of textures: the fluffy bread, the creamy potato salad, and the tender chicken. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have packed for work, school, or outdoor gatherings, offering a filling and flavorful option without much fuss. Its appeal lay in the clever use of leftovers, the ease of preparation, and the comforting combination of savory, creamy, and hearty elements. Though rarely seen on modern menus, chicken with potato salad in a roll evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where simple ingredients were transformed into practical, satisfying sandwiches that could feed both families and friends. Tongue sandwich. Beef tongue sliced thin. The tongue sandwich, featuring thinly sliced beef tongue, was a classic mid-century delicacy that showcased the era's appreciation for bold, flavorful cuts of meat. Tender, slow-cooked beef tongue was sliced paper-thin and served on soft white or rye bread, sometimes with a smear of mustard or mayonnaise to enhance its rich, savory taste. The texture was silky, yet substantial, and the subtle, beefy flavor made it a satisfying and hearty sandwich. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed for lunch, a casual dinner, or at a diner where unusual cuts were celebrated rather than overlooked. Its appeal lay in its simplicity and depth of flavor, minimal seasoning, High-quality meat and fresh bread combined into a memorable, practical meal. Though largely absent from modern menus, the tongue sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens and delis, where resourcefulness, taste, and a willingness to enjoy every part of the animal created satisfying, distinctive sandwiches that were both humble and indulgent. Chipped ham with cheese on white bread. Chipped ham with cheese on white bread was a mid-century classic, particularly popular in homes and lunchboxes where simplicity met satisfaction. Thinly sliced, tender ham, often shaved from a canned or smoked loaf, was layered generously on soft white bread, then topped with a slice of American or cheddar cheese for creamy, melty richness. Sometimes a light spread of mustard or mayonnaise completed the sandwich, adding tang or moisture without overpowering the flavors. This was the kind of meal your grandparents might have enjoyed for a quick lunch, an after-school snack, or a simple weeknight dinner, offering a filling and flavorful bite with minimal preparation. Its charm lay in its ease, affordability, and comforting familiarity, a practical sandwich that didn't sacrifice taste. Though largely absent from modern menus, chipped ham with cheese on white bread evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where humble, everyday ingredients were transformed into satisfying, hearty meals that delighted both children and adults alike. Bologna and onion ring sandwich. The bologna and onion ring sandwich was a fun, indulgent mid-century creation that combined two simple favorites into a satisfying handheld meal. Thick slices of bologna, sometimes fried until golden and slightly crisp at the edges, were layered with crunchy, lightly fried onion rings and tucked between slices of soft white or sandwich bread. A smear of mustard or mayonnaise often completed the sandwich, adding tang or creaminess that complemented the savory, salty bologna and sweet, crispy onions. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served for lunch, a quick weeknight dinner, or a casual snack, delighting both children and adults with its playful texture and hearty flavors. Its appeal lay in the combination of salty, savory, and crisp, contrasting elements, all brought together in a simple, practical sandwich. Though rarely seen today, the bologna and onion rings sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where creativity, indulgence, and practicality turned everyday ingredients into memorable, satisfying meals. Deviled egg sandwich. The deviled egg sandwich was a mid-century favorite, offering a creamy, flavorful twist on the classic egg salad. Hard-boiled eggs were chopped and blended with mayonnaise, mustard, and a hint of paprika or seasoning to create a rich, tangy filling that packed a punch. Sometimes a touch of pickle relish or chopped celery was added for crunch and brightness. This mixture was spread generously between slices of soft white or whole wheat bread, resulting in a satisfying, handheld meal that was both filling and flavorful. The deviled egg sandwich was the kind of lunch your grandparents might have packed for work, school, or enjoyed at home during a casual family meal, appreciated for its ease, affordability, and bold yet comforting flavor. Though less common today, it evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where simple ingredients were transformed into practical, tasty sandwiches that combined creaminess, tang, and a touch of indulgence in every bite. Coleslaw and ham sandwich. The coleslaw and ham sandwich was a beloved mid-century lunch option, known for its refreshing crunch and savory flavor. Tender slices of cooked ham were paired with a generous helping of creamy coleslaw, often made with shredded cabbage, carrots, and mayonnaise, creating a cool, crisp contrast to the salty meat. Soft white or wheat bread held everything together, letting each bite deliver a mix of textures and tastes. The hearty, savory ham balanced by the tangy, crunchy slaw. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have packed for school, work, or served at a casual family lunch, offering a practical yet flavorful meal. Its charm lay in its simplicity, portability, and the clever combination of creamy, crunchy, and savory elements. Though largely absent from modern menus, the cold slaw and ham sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where everyday ingredients were thoughtfully combined into satisfying, memorable sandwiches that delighted both adults and children alike. Ham and mayonnaise finger sandwiches, tea party style. Ham and mayonnaise finger sandwiches were a quintessential mid-century treat, especially popular at tea parties and elegant gatherings. Thin slices of tender ham were layered with a delicate spread of creamy mayonnaise between soft white bread, crusts removed for a neat, dainty presentation. The sandwiches were often cut into small rectangles or triangles, making them perfect for afternoon tea, brunches, or light lunches. Their charm lay in the simplicity and refinement. The savory ham paired with the smooth, slightly tangy mayonnaise created a satisfying yet delicate bite. These sandwiches were the kind your grandparents might have served to guests, embodying the era's focus on practicality, elegance, and hospitality in small, thoughtful portions. Though less common on modern menus, ham and mayonnaise finger sandwiches evoke nostalgia for mid-century kitchens and social gatherings, where attention to detail, simple ingredients, and charming presentation turned ordinary sandwiches into memorable, graceful treats. Egg and cheese melt on toast. The egg and cheese melt on toast was a comforting mid-century favorite, perfect for breakfast, lunch, or a quick dinner. Fluffy, scrambled, or lightly fried eggs were layered on a slice of toasted bread and topped with a generous helping of melting cheese, often American or cheddar, then briefly broiled or grilled until the cheese was gooey and slightly golden. Sometimes a touch of butter or a sprinkle of pepper enhanced the flavor, but the appeal was always in the combination of warm, creamy eggs and rich melted cheese. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed for a simple meal at home, a satisfying lunchbox treat, or a cozy brunch. Its charm lay in its simplicity, heartiness, and practicality, a filling, flavorful dish made with basic ingredients that delivered comfort in every bite. Though less common today, the egg and cheese melt on toast evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where straightforward, delicious meals were crafted with care and ease. Cream cheese, cucumber, and dill. The cream cheese, cucumber, and dill sandwich was a fresh and elegant mid-century favorite, often served at tea parties, luncheons, or as a light snack. Thick or thin slices of crisp cucumber were layered over a generous spread of smooth, creamy cream cheese, then sprinkled with fresh or dried dill for a subtle, aromatic flavor. Soft white or whole wheat bread held the ingredients together, often with the crusts removed for a neat, delicate presentation. Its appeal lay in the combination of creamy, crisp, and fragrant elements, creating a sandwich that was refreshing, light, and satisfying without being heavy. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have offered to guests or enjoyed on a quiet afternoon at home, embodying the mid-century emphasis on simplicity, elegance, and thoughtful flavors. Though less common on modern menus, cream cheese, cucumber, and dill evokes nostalgia for an era when delicate, practical ingredients were combined to create refined, memorable sandwiches. Fried liver with onion sandwich. The fried liver with onion sandwich was a hearty and flavorful mid-century classic, cherished for its robust taste and satisfying texture. Thin slices of liver were pan-fried with onions until caramelized and tender, creating a rich, savory filling with sweet undertones from the onions. Served on soft white or rye bread, sometimes with a light spread of butter or mustard, the sandwich offered a perfect balance of earthy liver and sweet, savory onions. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed for lunch, a quick dinner, or a casual family meal, providing both protein and comfort in a simple, practical format. Its appeal lay in its bold flavors, ease of preparation, and the hearty satisfaction of a protein-packed sandwich. Though largely absent from modern menus, fried liver with onions evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where resourcefulness, taste, and practicality transformed humble ingredients into memorable, filling meals. Peanut butter and bacon sandwich. The peanut butter and bacon sandwich was a daring and indulgent mid-century creation that combined sweet, salty, and savory in one memorable bite. Crispy, smoky bacon strips were layered atop a generous spread of creamy peanut butter on soft white or wheat bread, creating a rich, satisfying contrast of textures and flavors. The salty crunch of the bacon paired perfectly with the nutty sweetness of the peanut butter, resulting in a surprisingly harmonious combination. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed as a hearty lunch, a casual snack, or a playful treat for adventurous eaters. Its charm lay in its simplicity, boldness, and the satisfying interplay of tastes, turning two common pantry staples into a decadent handheld delight. Though largely forgotten today, the peanut butter and bacon sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where creativity, practicality, and a willingness to experiment with flavors produced unforgettable, comfort-filled sandwiches. Corned beef and potato sandwich. The corned beef and potato sandwich was a hearty mid-century favorite, perfect for a filling lunch or casual dinner. Tender, savory corned beef was paired with cooked, lightly mashed, or sliced potatoes, sometimes seasoned with a touch of salt, pepper, or mustard, creating a rich, comforting filling. Served on soft white or rye bread, the sandwich offered a satisfying contrast of textures, the meaty, salty corned beef alongside the creamy, starchy potatoes. This was the kind of practical, resourceful meal your grandparents might have enjoyed at home, packed for work, or served as a quick, hearty lunch. Its appeal lay in its simplicity, affordability, and the clever combination of pantry staples, turning basic ingredients into a substantial and flavorful sandwich. Though less common on modern menus, the corned beef and potato sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where practicality, comfort, and satisfying flavors came together in every memorable bite. Roast pork with applesauce sandwich. The roast pork with applesauce sandwich was a sweet and savory mid-century favorite, beloved for its comforting and balanced flavors. Tender slices of roast pork were layered on soft white or rye bread and topped with a spoonful of smooth, sweet applesauce, creating a delightful contrast between the savory meat and fruity condiment. Sometimes a touch of mustard or a pat of butter was added to enhance the flavor, but the magic was always in the interplay of pork and applesauce. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed for lunch, a casual dinner, or a quick snack, transforming leftovers or freshly cooked meat into a practical, satisfying meal. Its charm lay in its simplicity, flavor, harmony, and heartiness, a perfect example of mid-century resourcefulness and taste. Though less common today, roast pork with applesauce evokes nostalgia for kitchens where straightforward ingredients were combined thoughtfully to create comforting, memorable sandwiches. Chicken and celery salad on white bread. Chicken and celery salad on white bread was a crisp, refreshing mid-century classic, perfect for lunch or a light afternoon meal. Tender cooked chicken was chopped and mixed with finely diced celery, mayonnaise, and a touch of seasoning, creating a creamy, crunchy filling that was both flavorful and satisfying. Spread generously between slices of soft white bread, the sandwich offered a pleasant contrast of textures, the smooth, savory chicken mixture against the crisp crunch of celery and the tender bread. This was the kind of practical, easy-to-make meal your grandparents might have packed for work, school, or served at home during a casual lunch. Its appeal lay in its simplicity, freshness, and balance, combining creamy, crisp, and savory elements into a harmonious bite. Though less common on modern menus, Chicken and celery salad on white bread evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens, where thoughtful, uncomplicated ingredients were transformed into comforting, satisfying sandwiches. Ham and mustard finger sandwich. The ham and mustard finger sandwich was a staple of mid-century tea parties and casual luncheons, celebrated for its simple yet flavorful combination. Thin slices of tender ham were layered on soft white bread, often with the crusts removed for a neat, dainty presentation, and spread lightly with tangy mustard to add a subtle kick. Cut into small rectangles or triangles, these sandwiches were easy to handle and perfect for serving guests, or enjoying as a light, elegant snack. Their charm lay in the balance of flavors. The savory, slightly salty ham complemented by the sharpness of the mustard, creating a satisfying bite without being heavy. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have served for afternoon tea, family gatherings, or casual get-togethers, embodying the mid-century emphasis on simplicity, practicality, and refined presentation. Though less common today, ham and mustard finger sandwiches evoke nostalgia for an era when thoughtful preparation and modest ingredients combined to create memorable, elegant treats. Fried Spam and Pineapple Sandwich. The fried Spam and pineapple sandwich was a mid-century favorite, combining savory, salty meat with sweet tropical fruit for a uniquely satisfying flavor. Slices of Spam were pan-fried until golden and slightly crispy, then layered with juicy pineapple rings on soft white or sandwich bread. Sometimes a touch of mayonnaise or mustard was added, but the real appeal was the contrast between the rich, salty Spam and the bright, sweet pineapple. This was the kind of sandwich your grandparents might have enjoyed for a quick lunch, a casual dinner, or even a snack, offering a hearty, flavorful bite that was both simple and indulgent. Its charm lay in its inventive pairing, combining practicality with bold taste and a touch of whimsy. Though less common on modern menus, the fried Spam and pineapple sandwich evokes nostalgia for mid-century kitchens where creativity, thrift, and flavor transformed everyday ingredients into memorable, satisfying meals. And there you have it. 60 sandwiches your grandparents loved that have mostly disappeared from today's tables. From sweet bologna to chicken salad on white bread, these nostalgic bites remind us of simpler times and creative, comforting flavors. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like and share, and subscribe for more deliciously forgotten recipes and culinary stories.